What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our Arne Slot special here on Anfield Agenda. I'm going to do my best to give you all the information that you require to look forward to Arne Slot becoming the new Liverpool head coach. As I sit here recording this video today, I've just seen a little bit of a press conference, or a little bit of a segment from his press conference over at Feyenoord, and he can't hide his delight at being the next Liverpool coach. You could hear Gary Cotterill from Sky Sports asking him a couple of questions. He answered them, he had a big smile on his face, but he talked about being able to speak about matters further once that contract is announced by Liverpool Football Club. He did go on to say that he doesn't believe that there's going to be any hiccups and that he believes both clubs will come to agreement and we'll get this announcement soon. So until then, over the next few minutes, I'm going to go through and give you a bit of a profile, where he grew up, what his playing days were like, and then we'll move into, of course, his managerial career, what that looks like for Liverpool, and any other questions that you guys have. Please feel free to let me know in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them. So without any further ado, let's get stuck into getting to know Liverpool's new head coach, Arne Slot. So, firstly, who is Arne Slot? Well, he was born on the 17th of September 1978, making him 45 years of age, just 3 years older than yours truly, and I think it's fair to say he's accomplished a little bit more in his life than I have, but I do have 3 years to catch up on him, and who's to say in 3 years I won't be the next Liverpool coach? Yeah, I think we can say that isn't going to happen. But where was he born? Well, Bergentheim, Netherlands. He's 6 foot tall, or for anybody who wants to look at that in meters, it's 1.84 meters. And in his playing days, he played as a midfielder. But where did he play? Between 1995 and 2002, he played for PEC Zwolle, making 164 appearances with a very respectable 50 goals. Between 2002 and 2007, he moved on to NAC Breda, where he made 142 appearances, chipping in with 21 goals. 2007 to 2010, seen him move to Sparta Rotterdam, where he made 54 appearances and 6 goals were his return there. And the final move of his career between 2010 and 2013 was once again back to PEC Zwolle, where he made 74 appearances, scoring 16 goals. Next up, we're going to have a look at how he moved into management. How did Arne Slot move into coaching, and what will it look like when he comes to Liverpool Football Club? Well, the first thing I want to say about Arne Slot, based on my research, is he plays an attacking brand of football, one that I think we'll see some similarities at Liverpool, but some slight changes as well. But how did he get to this point in his career? Well, he started off after retiring from football, coaching again at the academy of PEC Zwolle, where of course he ended his playing career. Then he moved on as an assistant at Cambuur to coach Henk de Jong. De Jong left Cambuur in 2016, but Arne Slot stayed on and eventually became the co-manager along with Sipke Hulshoff, who is now his assistant. The pair helped Cambuur climb from a lowly 14th place in the league table all the way up to having a 3rd place finish, just missing out on promotion to the Eredivisie, losing in a playoff. That was enough though to catch the eye of AZ Alkmaar, and in 2017 Arne Slot left Cambuur to go and work with AZ Alkmaar as an assistant to John van den Brom. They guided AZ Alkmaar to a 3rd and 4th place finish in the 2018 and 2019 seasons, as well as reaching the final of the Dutch Cup. In December 2018, Arne Slot will go on to succeed Van den Brom as head coach. In his first season, they reached the quarter-final of the Europa League and finished second to Ajax in goal difference in a season that was curtailed because of the COVID pandemic. In fact, they didn't even hand out a title that year, so I guess that somewhat softens the blow, but it was only goal difference keeping them behind Ajax. The campaign was, however, as I mentioned, cut short because of the COVID pandemic, but Slot was surprisingly fired from AZ Alkmaar in December 2020 after it emerged he was negotiating to become the next Feyenoord coach. Well, that negotiation must have went well, because we did indeed see Arne Slot announced as the new Feyenoord coach shortly after he was fired from AZ. In his first season with Feyenoord, he reached the final of the Europa Conference League, losing 1-0 to Jose Mourinho. Feyenoord then quickly moved to extend his contract by triggering a clause inside it that they could keep him at the club until at least 2024. Feyenoord finished the season in 3rd place and Arne Slot was named the Eredivisie Manager of the Year. So clearly starting to gain some attention and traction there already. First season with Feyenoord, Europa Conference League final, losing to Jose Mourinho, and then winning the Manager of the Year award. During the 2022-23 season, Feyenoord progressed to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, amazingly once again losing out to Roma. The disappointment of being knocked out of Europe though was soon forgotten as Feyenoord went on to win the league title for the 16th time, their first since 2007. And you can see again, much like Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, that progression starting to come through. Had early success but then built on that success, and that's what we want at Liverpool as well, right? In this current campaign, Feyenoord finished 3rd in their Champions League group, a group which featured Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Celtic. They dropped down into the Europa League where they were once again, for a 3rd season in a row, eliminated by, that's right, Roma. They must hate the side of Roma at this point. That disappointment though was short-lived because they did go on to win the Dutch Cup and they're about to finish 2nd in the Eredivisie this season to a free-scoring PSV Eindhoven team. And of course that leads us to his time at Liverpool. What can we expect? How does Arne Slot set his teams up? And will he be a good fit for the Reds? Next up, I thought we'd have a little look at Arne Slot's preferred formations, and this is going to sound quite familiar to you. So, Slot's favourite system is a 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot and a number 10, 2 wingers and a central striker. Also, he's known to utilise the 4-3-3 system, which he has done in the latter part of his Feyenoord career, particularly, or notably I should say, with that 6-0 demolition of Ajax, which definitely made a lot of people sit up and take notice. When defending though, one of the double pivots in Slot's system will drop back into defence, creating a back 5 and turning the system into a 5-4-1, making it very proficient for a low block, something that has been Liverpool's Achilles heel. So hopefully with a coach who knows how to defend a low block, he can help us implement a low block and stop some of those leaky goals. He also utilises an aggressive press to try and win the ball back as quickly as possible and of course to stop the opposition advancing. Similar to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, Arne Slot will ask his defence to play a high line to help try and condense the size of the pitch. This is really important because this is again something that we can see a similarity in how Jurgen Klopp sets up Liverpool with how we may see Arne Slot set up Liverpool, condensing the pitch, making it easier to win the ball back and of course making the distance between yourself and the opposition goal as small as possible, hopefully leading to more chances. So we've had a little look at how we set up when Arne Slot wants us in defensive mode, but when we're on the attack and when we're looking to turn over possession, what can we expect from an Arne Slot side? Well, when attacking, one of the wide players often tucks inside to become basically an additional number 10, and one of the fullbacks will get forward to provide additional width. One thing to remember about the way Arne Slot likes to play is that the system requires players to have an incredible level of fitness and to work extremely hard. Sound familiar? We're seeing a lot of similarities here again to the way Jurgen Klopp sets his teams up. But I do want to caveat. One of the things we've always been worried about with Klopp is him burning out the players. Arne Slot seems to be a bit more mindful of this from the research that I've had. To me, this suggests that we'll have an emphasis on young players, but let's see how that looks at Liverpool. It's no surprise to me that we're starting to see links to young, hungry players coming back in, particularly with Michael Edwards there. To implement and utilise these systems and play as aggressively as Slot and Klopp like to, I think personally, and that is just a preference, you're going to see Liverpool look again towards that young market where we can get players who haven't been burnt out. We've seen so many times Liverpool tail off at the end of the season. I think personally that's down to not having enough youth in the team, but it is just one man's opinion. So that's what we look like in defence and attack, but how would Arne Slot describe his own system? We'll talk about that next. Well, in a recent interview, this is what he had to say. I don't want to compare myself with Pep at all, but he's a control freak just like me. If I look at myself, I want to win a match in the week before kick-off. I try to imprint the chosen tactic to my players as much as I can. That's why I can be very frustrated when a referee even makes the slightest mistake to your disadvantage. This can have so much influence while you're not able to control anything. All preparation can be ruined because of a referee mistake. This can be my biggest frustration. Do you guys want to tell him or will I? What does he think he's going to be welcomed with when he comes to the Premier League and meets Mr. Paul Tierney, Mr. Anthony Taylor and some of the other fine PGOML referees, and I use the term referees very loosely there. So I think Arne Slot is going to enjoy the frustration he will suffer at the hands of these referees at Liverpool. Let's see how he reacts with it. So that's what he's thought about referees, but there is still more quotes from Arne Slot to go through. Now we're going to listen to Arne Slot's description of how he likes his teams to play. Guardiola gives me the ultimate pleasure in football. I'd rather watch Manchester City than any other team in the world, although now I enjoy watching Napoli, Arsenal and Brighton as well. I don't want to compare Feyenoord with City, but we more or less play the same football according to the same philosophy. 4-3-3, building up from the back, wanting to put pressure on the opponent rather quickly. There are quite a few similarities, of which I think I can steal some of this, but I'll always make sure that it fits my own players. So he's not bigging himself up there at all, is he? Comparing himself to the likes of Guardiola as a coach, but I like it. And I like the philosophy. And I hope that it can be implemented well at Liverpool. Look, there is no guarantees, my friends, that anybody coming in after Jurgen Klopp is going to be a success. But the more I've gotten to research and look into Arne Slot, the more I've seen him being interviewed, the more I do think that he has what it takes, at least to get the fans on side, to unite the club like Jurgen did. What happens on the pitch, what success looks like under Slot, I guess we'll find out over the coming few seasons. But one thing I would say is, whether you agree with Arne Slot as the choice or you don't, it is incumbent on us all to make sure that we support the manager the way that he likes to play and give him the welcome to Liverpool that he deserves. So, I've done my best to explain everything I think that you need to know about Arne Slot. All of your comments are of course welcome. Looking forward to seeing what you guys write. Don't forget, drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. And the next video I'm going to put out in this series is going to be what Liverpool might look like under Arne Slot, how we'd line up, what players we might bring in. That video should be coming soon as well. So thank you for watching, my friends, and I will catch up with you soon. Much love. Bye bye.